Hello and welcome back, and welcome to all the new people on Wise Woman Wednesdays. My name is Jennifer Regular, and I am a soul-centered empowerment coach at Lighting the Path, and also your host here on Wise Woman Wednesdays. I am so excited that I'm meeting with someone all the way to the other end of the world today. This is Sophia Soul from Newcastle, Australia. Welcome, Sophia.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. I mean, this is an honour, and can you believe it? Yes, we are on the other side of the world. Sometimes I still get head spins about that,
I
but
know
thank you
we're
for
in
having me.
different seasons, different time
Different
zones, different
continents.
hemispheres, but we're here on the screen together.
We are the joys of the technology that can make our world so much smaller.
I know it makes me feel grateful for this part of it.
Yes, yeah,
So let me
absolutely.
tell you all about Sophia Soul, because she has a very interesting story, very interesting experiences. Throughout her life, Sophia has always been able to see things differently than most people in the world. She's been on a spiritual path as long as she can remember, including practicing meditation for over 30 years, 18 of which were actually living in meditation and retreat centers. It was during this time that Sophia really discovered what true self-esteem is, the state of consciousness where you value your inner self, regardless of whether you are being approved or even respected by others. I love that. Having to undergo about 30 operations due to a genetic disorder, Sophia has faced many challenges in all aspects of her life, from chronic pain, extreme bullying, sexual and emotional abuse, and mental health issues that led to suicide attempts. She can honestly say that she has been able to completely transform her life with constant practice and awareness. Sophia's passion is to create a movement of love, growth, and connection through our sacred community, which is a worldwide community dedicated to helping, supporting, and encouraging women and men to fulfill their dreams, desires, and purpose. They do this by providing a platform for like-minded people to share their passions, services, classes, courses, and events. Their mission is to touch lives everywhere. Oh my goodness, Sophia Soul. What a life you've been living and leading, and now what you're doing for others is just phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Wow.
you, Jennifer, for that and for that welcome, and thank you for saying that. I'm actually really honoured to be doing that. I just get led by the universe, and the universe brings me in directions, and it's brought me here, and is helping us create this platform that just allows people. At first, it was just women, but now it's men as well. Just to connect and to feel like they belong, or to work on their empowerment, or whatever anyone needs, we're able to provide a platform for that. So thank you for the introduction.
Well, thank you. And it sounds like, you've had your own journey of empowerment from all that you've suffered that would have dispirited you, would have disempowered you. Do you
Yeah.
remember the first time that you felt connected to any source of empowerment, that you felt your connection with spirit or the universe? Where did that begin for you?
For me, that was really, really young. I don't know, I would have been about 5 or 6, something like that. That I always knew that there was more to this world. I always knew that I was here for a higher purpose. Didn't know what that was, but I just knew that there was so much more to this world than we see. And I've kind of let that guide me my whole life. So yeah, so very, very, very young and very fortunate for that. But then during the normal, schooling and school age stuff, and life gets a hold of you, and you have peer pressure and everything else. A lot of, because I was very sick when I was young. I had, I've got a genetic, or in a body that has a genetic condition, and I've had about 30 operations, but also a lot of hospitalizations as well. And, it's not easy going through school. I take off the children now, it's even harder. But back then, children are children. If there's something different, they don't know how to cope with it. They don't know what to do. So when you turn up into a school and no one knows you and you look different, then they, react in whatever way it was. So with a lot of bullying and a lot of peer pressure and stuff, really, I guess, really taught me a lot, but really think again that there's a lot more, that this is not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to find out who I really was.
And how did you be able to tap into the essence of who you are?
I remember I spent some time, I don't know how many times, searching. I was definitely searching for something. I thought I was going to find it overseas at that stage when I first started. I became a nanny because at that time Australian nannies were very much in demand overseas. So I thought I'd go overseas and become a nanny and find what I was searching for. But I was guided to a meditation centre. And as soon as I walked in and sat down and started to learn about meditation and everything else like that, I knew that I'd come home basically. I knew that this is what I was searching for. That what I was looking for wasn't out there. I wasn't going to find it overseas or anywhere like that. That I was going to find it inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really started my whole journey with self-esteem and everything else, because at that stage I had nothing. I didn't think I was worth anything. I did try and, end my life a few times because I didn't think I was worthy enough to be in this world. I developed a really bad stutter because I thought that I wasn't worthy enough to speak. Because you know how people, and I do it too, if I'm not careful, you're talking and you get cut off. People cutting, we all do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're someone who has got no self-esteem and you keep being cut off, I developed a belief that I wasn't even worthy enough to speak. So whenever I did try and speak, I would have a stutter, and had to learn how to talk again, because it was all, I'm not worthy enough to be here. And it was through the meditation that really first started to change.
So you talk about dependency to self-determination.
Yeah.
Can you explain that journey?
Two things, right? Two things. First of all, there's the physical thing, because I went through with this physical body and with so many operations, I was in chronic pain. So for quite some time, I was dependent on drugs to overcome the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of drugs. I used to take heavy-duty narcotics, right, really bad, and I could hardly walk. I couldn't walk 100 metres without being in pain, and had to get around on mobility scooters and stuff like that. And it wasn't till, and I can't remember exactly, probably my early 20s, would have been in my early 20s, after all the surgery, because I had all my surgery when I was growing. And when I stopped growing, then my body started to break down. And all my joints started to break down. But I couldn't have any more surgery because I went in and they just said that I've had so much surgery, my body can't take any more. But it wasn't till I actually completely injured my knees and tore all the meniscuses around your knees and your ACLs and stuff like that. And I went to see an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, you've got no choice, but you have to have a double knee replacement. You've got no choice. But it was right there that my body literally screamed at me. Internally, I could actually feel it going into trauma just by the thought of having more surgery. It totally screamed at me, and it said, just enough, no more. There has to be another way. There has to be. So I just made the decision then to be determined that there would be no more surgery and no more drugs. Just stopped. Didn't matter if I was in pain. I just knew that the medication that I was having was covering up the pain, but it was also leading to the pain because of all the toxicity that was in my body. So I just went on another journey, just did a lot of research for all different modalities. I actually went to India and I spent about 4 months in India getting off all the medication, getting off, all just totally detoxing, doing yoga, doing all sorts of things, and just making that decision that no matter what, and unless I have an accident and I'm unconscious, whatever, but no matter what, no more medication. And a little while later I discovered sound healing. I tried other modalities and they all worked, but then I discovered the healing powers of sound. And when I first experienced sound healing, it was like your body just wakes up. It's just like, this is what I need.
The resonance of the frequency. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. I've experienced it too. Amazing. It's like a medicine.
Oh, it is. So sound is my medicine. I have the fortune of playing sound, being a sound healer, doing sound things, and whenever I'm still in pain. If I ever injure myself, which does happen occasionally because of the body that I have, then it's sound and breath work. So that was the one part of the determination, is just to stop all the drugs. Right, which we can go into more too. But the other part is with myself, because at some stage in my life, especially when I started to learn about self-esteem and stuff like that, I made the decision that it's my life. If I want to live a good life, then I need to make those choices.
Yes.
When I was first growing up, and with all the problems that I had, I used to blame everyone. I blame my mother, I blame my sister, because I've got a sister who, we've definitely got the same parents, but she looks nothing like me. She doesn't have the disorder. Her life is really, really, great. I blame God. I blamed the world. I blamed my body. I used to treat my body really bad. I had a lot of food allergies, but I didn't care. I'd just eat stuff. I'd get sick. I didn't care. I punished my body. Did all sorts of stuff until there was this shift. Like, it's not my body's life. It's my body, but that's not who I am. It's not my mother's life. It's got nothing to do with God. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. I'm responsible for my body. I also took on I learned about reincarnation, which is another thing. So it gave me an acceptance. When I discovered reincarnation and really go, well, because quite a while before that I used to just question, why me? Why not my sister? It's genetic, right? It's genetic. So to me, it's genetic. Why me? Why not her? Why? Why do people in the world, some people get born with everything, golden spoon, other people get, other babies die in Africa starving to death? Why? Then this concept of reincarnation came in, and I'm going, okay, so does that mean I've lived in another life or lifetimes that have done certain actions that's resulted in the fact that I've taken birth into this body to learn lessons? And I go, that to me makes sense. So I have to take responsibility for my life, and if I want to live a good life, if I want to live a pain-free life, if I want to, set myself up for a good life into the future, then it's not being dependent on other people. Not being dependent on the world, on whatever other belief you've got, not being dependent on other people to make decisions for me. But going, okay, and not blaming other people. Like, you did this to me. No, I did this to me. So that's the kind of thing with the two things that, if I want to live a good life, it's my choice.
And it becomes self-empowering, doesn't it?
It does.
You know, when
It
you
does.
take back your power and you own that I chose this. This is
Yes.
me. This is who I
Yes.
am. This is, you're accepting me. So first the awareness, and then the
Yes.
acceptance, and then the action, because now you can make those differently informed choices, more
Yes.
conscious choices
Totally.
on how you want to be living your life.
Mm. Totally, because we have to live with the effects of those choices.
Mm-hmm.
And really, and just take responsibility, as you're saying, for those choices. So it's got nothing to do with anyone else. Doesn't matter if I'm in a relationship or not, or whatever it is, when I'm with other people. If my life is going down a certain track, a certain path, journey, that is my choice.
Yes, and responsibility is the ability to respond, right? And I know
Yes,
I'm not the first person who said that. And
yes,
recognizing that you do have the ability then to respond is an empowering
yeah,
position
yeah.
to be in too. Yes.
Totally. And it's the same with, physical aspects of your body. To take that responsibility that, I made that choice that, I don't want to live a life of pain and drugs. I was seeing because my mother does have the same disorder, because that's the genetic part. And
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing the way her life was going, and I'm going, I don't want to go down that journey.
Right.
So it's taking that responsibility that there has to be another way, and finding that out. And for me, like I said, I was guided to sound healing, and that was one of the most powerful experiences that I've ever had. And I can still remember like being there and your body just going, this is what I need. And to be able to share that with the people of the world, that medication does have its place. I'm not
Sure.
here to say that it doesn't, but like I just also, all our indigenous cultures, no matter where you are in the world, our indigenous cultures, they don't go down the road and get a pill. They use sound and traditional healing. They use their voices and their instruments to heal anything. So yeah.
Yes, and conscious connection as well.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of
Yes.
calls to the creator and surrendering and allowing and coming
Yes.
together in community
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well, different ceremonies.
Totally.
And you've
In,
created your own community. Sorry, you wanted to say something to that.
well, and getting back in touch with nature too, which is the
Yes, with
community.
nature and our natural rhythms. And,
Yes.
you know, seeing the transformation that goes on in nature and our own transformation as well. With transformation is transcending form,
Yes.
right? Moving
Yeah.
beyond who we think we are, or what we think we're this body, or, you know, how we identify
Yeah.
ourselves. And we talk
Absolutely.
about community, and you've created one, our sacred
Our
community.
sacred
How did
community.
that come
Well,
about? How was that born?
okay. Well, again, I have to say that it's all through the universe.
Uh-huh.
It truly, I mean, my whole life, I really have been just go on my guidance. That's all I do. Everything,
Yes.
even the sound healing. The fact that I've been able to tour with the sound healing and go overseas with sound healing, that was all guided through the universe. And our sacred community, it all came about through guidance through the universe. My dear friend, business partner, whatever, I was guided down to where I'm living now. I had no intentions of living here. Before I came down here, I was home free. I used to travel with my sound healing and touring and stuff like that. And I was guided to come down to Newcastle to do a house sit, and I completely objected. Because one, it was in the middle of winter, and two, was I didn't want to come. I still remember that day. It's like, I want to go north, and this little voice said, no, you have to go south. And I'm going, not for winter. And even when I got here, it was like, what am I doing here? Because I did, it's like, what really am I doing here? And again, I just get this guidance that I'm going to stay here. And this is where I'm going to settle, and I have to start paying rent, which I objected to again. But here I am, 2.5 years later, I'm paying rent. But that's because when we follow our guidance, when we really trust. When we just open up trusting, you know that magic happens. And, you know, I know someone who was also guided to establish communities at that stage, communities of women, for women, all over the world.
Wow.
And that just started, we started 2 years ago, just before COVID, and slowly establishing communities to meet up. And then, of course, COVID came along and everything went online. So we went online, and slowly over that we were guided to establish a platform for women to connect with like-minded women all over the world.
Wow.
So if you've got an interest in crystals, then you can connect with other women all over the world and talk about crystals or whatever
So
that
special interests.
special
Connecting with your
interests.
special interests.
Yeah. So the special interest tribes were born, and then that slowly grew into our sacred community, and we've spent the last 7 to 8 months building a whole new website, and allowing that, putting all systems into place. So if you wanted to come along and host your own tribe, whether it's a local tribe in your local area, because now that, you know, we can go out and have coffee, and, you know, there's a lot of women in our world that just want to belong.
Yes.
It's in our DNA that we used to gather in community. We used to gather in circles, right? We did it all back in the indigenous. And a lot of women are just lonely. They just want to make friends. They just want to go out and belong to a community.
Like a sisterhood.
Like a sisterhood, yes. So we've got the local social tribes. That can happen. And then we've got the special interest tribes, which are online. So if you have an interest in anything, that can be online. I said crystals. We've got empowerment tribes. We've got sacred feminine tribes. We've got tribes for women who have got businesses, entrepreneurs. We've got craft tribes for if you just want to sit and talk with people, chat with people over coffee online while you're doing craft. We've got that now. We've got all sorts of different tribes, and that's growing. That's growing. So that's establishing now, and we're also establishing a platform for anyone who has a business and and provide services, whether it's one-on-one or online or courses or classes or events. Then we can help promote that too. And again, at first it was just women, but we kept being asked, what about men? What about men? And I kept saying, one day. Not yet. One day. But about a month ago or so, that one day came along, because it was just through guidance. That I was asked twice in 1 week, what about men? And it was like, well, maybe we really need to start to look at that. So our sacred feminine community became our sacred community. And for us, it's also, you know, it's connecting with the sacred you, and it's a journey of love.
Yes. And a beautiful thread now of the sacred masculine and sacred feminine coming together.
Yes, coming together. Yeah, and actually last night we had our first man join us.
Oh, wonderful.
For one of our meetings.
Yay!
So it's just... thank you. It's just allowing that to happen, because I was talking to him, my
and not feel threatened by it anymore, right?
And not feel threatened, because
feel women, just women, because it didn't feel safe to be around others. And now the men are there, and now anyone who identifies as a human is there. Because,
exactly.
We all identify differently these days too, not just men or women anymore. So just inviting in humans, and we can go beyond that, but we'll stick to this humans for now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about it, but you never know. When you're guided by the universe, really magic does happen.
It does, and not to quit 5 minutes before the magic happens. Because sometimes you're just on the brink of it and you want to give up. But you mentioned about trust, and it's so important to continue that trust. And don't quit
Yes.
5 minutes before the magic happens, because the magic does happen.
Yes, yes. And you get challenges. I mean, we've gone through some incredible challenges, and there have
Mm.
been times that I've thought, what the hell am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is this what I want, or is this what the universe wants? Really, what am I doing? But I just keep keep going back to the reason why I'm here.
Yes.
In living where I am, because that was certainly not from me.
And how would you
Certainly.
describe the reason that you're here?
Just to be of service. I mean,
Yeah.
my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
I've known that I've been here just to be of service in whatever way that is. At first, well, not first, but part of it was to live in meditation centers
Mm-hmm.
and to help other people with meditation and self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had such low self-esteem, I wanted to help others.
Yeah.
To show them that it is possible to go from absolutely nothing, that you're feeling like you're not even worthy enough to speak, to being able to to be responsible for your life, as you said, to step into your power
Yeah.
and to gain your power back.
And a
Um,
true transformation that you've gone through, and that you're truly touching lives everywhere.
well, that's our mission, and that's really what we want to do, because there's so many people out there, not just women. There's a lot of men who are searching and wanting to get back in touch with their self, to heal themselves, to find that what we're all looking for, which is love, but it's self-love.
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 And remembering, it seems like we're remembering more and more, and more people are remembering and reawakening to the fact that we are spiritual beings. And we're
Yes.
here to experience this human life. But we
Yeah.
are spiritual beings. And I love that more and more people are remembering that and
Yeah.
coming back together in various spiritual communities again,
Yeah.
and the kind of searching for that belonging and connection that you spoke of.
Yeah.
So for this community and all these different special interest tribes, how can people get involved with that?
Well, they can definitely come onto our website, sacredyou.love.
Perfect.
Um, absolutely.
It's all right there.
Love, it's just
Sacredyou.love.
there. And they can definitely have a look at that, and just have a look at all the special interest tribes, all the local tribes. And if I can just say this Jennifer, no matter
Please.
where you are in the world,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where you are, if you would like to connect with other like-minded people, whether it's women or whether it's men, and have a local social tribe, then we can definitely help you with that. And also, if you've got an interest, a passion that you would like to share with the world, whether it's whether it's crocheting, whether it's craft, whether you want to provide a service. We've got a woman who now is experiencing going through the breast cancer thing, that she's got breast cancer, so she wants to develop a tribe. She's developing a tribe to help other women who are suffering from cancer. So anything like that. If you have a business that you would like to share with others, whatever it is, like I said, crystals, coaching, counseling, anything about empowerment, any topic that you can do online. Having a tribe of like-minded people is a really powerful funnel to help your business grow.
Right.
Right? Really, really powerful. This is what we're experiencing. When we first started this wasn't one of the intentions. But now we're seeing, we've got a woman who does astrology. Right? And she comes in every month and talks about the houses and the moon and all that stuff, which is wonderful for the people who are interested in astrology. But if someone wants to go even more and wants to learn astrology, or wants a full astrology chart, then she gets clients. Same as that. We've got another woman last night where the man came, one of our other hosts does a healing with Herbs Tribe, and she's a naturopath.
Oh,
So
wow.
she comes in and talks about all these wonderful herbs, and and it's like, how can I see you for an appointment, for a thing, consultation? So if you've got a business, and you would like a really powerful funnel to get clients, then it truly is a good way, because people get to connect with you and they get to trust you. And
Yeah,
we all know that you have to have relationships to make sales.
that's right. That's
You know,
right.
gone are the days where you can just knock on doors.
Yeah.
Don't happen anymore.
That's true. And
It,
even if you're not in business and you just want to connect with other women, other men,
yeah,
others in the sacred community, then they can go to your website
yeah,
and
yeah,
choose which tribes to join.
yep.
And so we'll have all the links down below for you all. I highly recommend you check it out. I do believe they're all free, so there's no cost to join. There might be some that have memberships, but there's a
Yes,
lot that you can do and just be a part of and contribute to, receive from. It's a wonderful sacred community. I'm part of it as well. I'm so honored
yes.
to have found it and met you, Sophia. I am so grateful
Thank you.
that
Thank
we've
you.
crossed paths on our journeys. Is there
Yes.
anything else that you want to impart on the audience today? Any other words of wisdom or messages you want to share?
Well, just one,
Mm-hmm.
maybe two, but just one for everyone who's listening. And when you do go check out our website, thesacredyou.love, do check out the blogs.
Mm.
I do have to say, do check out the blogs, because I just want to thank you, Jennifer, because you know, one of our beautiful
Oh,
contributors.
it's my
So
pleasure. It's my pleasure.
definitely want to say that. And the only other thing is, really, truly, and I love this quote by Anina Mujani. It really touches my heart because it's so powerful, and that is just truly to remember your magnificence.
Ah, yes. To
Um,
remember your true magnificence.
Magnificence, because when we do, magic can happen. Really true magic can happen when we get in touch with that spark that's in us,
Mm.
that is so powerful. Then, you know, the world truly opens up to us.
It ignites the
So thank
spark
you.
in others too.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
oh boy, once we get all those sparks going, then it really takes off. Oh, it's been
Absolutely.
such a pleasure, Sophia Soul, for connecting with me here on Zoom from Newcastle, Australia, in all your wisdom and sharing your truth and your essence and touching the lives of everyone who's listening now or listening later. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Truly. It's an honor. It's my
Mm.
honor. Thank you.
And thank you to
Bye.
each and every one of you for watching, for listening. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you will again next week on Wise Women Wednesdays. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And bye for now.